It's been so long since I made a YouTube video. I've forgotten how to do it. Excuse whatever my hair's doing at the moment. I just had to walk back from school in the pouring rain. I got back about 10 minutes ago and I'm going to try and film this in half an hour because that's, according to my phone, that's when the sun sets. I have come prepared for that though, because these lights are probably making me look like an orange marker pen, so I hope that we're in that point in our friendship when we can deal with that. I'm pretty sure this isn't a thing on YouTube yet, but this idea stemmed from when someone messaged me on my blog asking me for a funny anecdote, and I couldn't think of one to give them, so instead I came up with the idea of searching Remember That Time and then my Twitter name and seeing what comes up, and the results are interesting. And if you follow me on Tumblr, then I think I owe you an explanation for some of these. And if you don't follow my Tumblr, then I hope you're prepared for what's in store for you. Okay, we'll start with 20th of November 2013. Remember that time me and Jessamine went sledging, but we didn't have sledges, so we used dinner trays and then broke them. In England, it doesn't snow very much, so when it does snow, it's like a huge deal. And there's a hill not far from my town where literally everyone, the whole population of my town congregates up this hill until there's literally just, it's a mudslide by the end of the season. And because we were off school because the school was closed, we decided that we'll go up this mudslide hill hybrid thing and we'll go sledging, but without the sledges. So I came up with the bright idea of going in my kitchen and taking the two biggest dinner trays that I have and taking them up the hill, and someone's getting arrested outside. It didn't work. I don't think dinner trays are designed for the purpose of sliding down snowy hill. They didn't even, like, slide. I was at least expecting them to slide, but they just, like, kind of got stuck halfway through and then snapped under my weight. So if you're gonna go sledging on an actual sledge. Remember that time I wrote a poem on 2009 fan for my English coursework? Got an A star for that. Remember that time I got sent out of PSHE for saying, oh my god? Yes, I do remember that. Our PSHE teacher was never in, like it was like one born every minute. She was always off having babies. So we always had this supply, and okay, without being offensive, she was a very passionate Christian and I wasn't aware of this. So when the time came where I inevitably exclaimed, oh my god, because when did I say? Whatever reason I decided to do that, I got sent outside and I had to sit in the corridor. And then she came out and had a word with me about why I shouldn't use the Lord's name in vain. So, at least I know one of the 10 commandments. Oh my god. Remember that time I was like 8 and I climbed onto the roof of my house to watch the stars and slipped and nearly died same? My window is like a kind of door thing that you can climb out of, and it's supposed to be used for a fire escape. Obviously the stars must have been pretty nice for me to make this kind of commitment, because I decided it would be a good idea for an even better view of the stars to go and try and sit on the roof, and I slipped. If you want to go watch the stars, watch them out your window, don't go on your roof. Remember that time I nearly broke a school computer when I used Internet Explorer and accidentally opened 104 tabs and it crashed? Yeah, I think that was the point in time when my school finally realised that maybe Internet Explorer wasn't the great browser that they were hoping it was going to be. So they got Google Chrome after that happened. Fucking Internet Explorer. Remember that time I napped for long and I slept until like 7 PM and thought it was the morning and then I sat down and cried? I'm surprised at myself how often this happens. It's not just remember that time, it's remember fucking last week. Remember that time it was so hot in my house that I brought my duvet and pillow into the garden and slept outside and it rained? Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was going to be a good idea. I mean, like, I suppose it was middle of summer, so I wasn't really expecting it to rain. So I got rained on. I actually got woken up by the rain. I mean, technically I could have just opened a window, but I didn't think of that. I committed, went outside, and it was horrible. Remember that time I found a huge ass spider in my bed at like 3 AM and panicked and killed it with my calculator? Yeah, that was fucking... This was around the time of summer again. It sounds like I didn't really have a very nice summer. I left the window open. Never doing that again. I was just sitting in bed, loving life. Sounded a bit weird. And then suddenly this black thing caught my eye, so I looked down and there was this fucking huge ass spider just like chilling on my bed. The only time it moved was when I noticed it, and inevitably I jumped out of bed and then it went under the bed. And the thing is with the bed, and I feel like I'm showing you a lot of my house today, is that it's completely filled with all this stuff. Like, it's just another storage space. I'd say it literally took about an hour and a half of just crying and trying to find this huge ass spider. Huge ass, I gotta stop saying that. Until eventually I found it peeking out of the corner of a book, and I was like... So I grabbed the nearest object to me, and mine happened to be my school calculator, which wasn't even mine. It was a borrowed one. I'm not going to mention who I borrowed it from. So that's proof that maths is deadly. And finally, I feel like this is a good note to end on. Remember that time I did a free iPad survey when I was 10 and spent the next 2 weeks camping outside the letterbox waiting for this iPad? I don't feel like I need to add anything to that. That's